Anyways, we're back on live, guys. Thank you for giving us just a few minutes to kind of get up and walk around a bit, and also
and apparently get back into crazy.
Yeah, try to humor ourselves with bad jokes and puns and all that jazz. I will turn this back over to our lovely GM, Kylar. Hopefully your show still doesn't blow up. It's your show, bud. For now.
Alright, so you're traveling for a while in hyperspace. Do you want to do anything while you're traveling in hyperspace? Just in case someone wants to do something while they're in hyperspace. Alright, Shiloh, what's Shiloh doing while he's in hyperspace?
I would like to use the hypercoms and calm Alexa and ask her to explain what's going on.
Alrighty!
And I just be left alone in my closet!
Are you not alone in there? What did it...
So it goes on the ship. So were my answers. Yeah, Shiloh, what can I do for you?
Can someone explain what happened and what's going on with our plan?
Right, so near as I can tell, I don't know why, so didn't want to say things over the comms, because we're pretty sure they know everything anyway, so, so they went to go find the Sith ship, and it was gone, so... Left pretty shortly after. Yeah, pretty close after we all fought with them. So
she said something about it being 30 minutes or so after the battle.
I thought you were in the closet.
I said she.
That was Dekaya.
Dekaya's sitting in the carpet next to Ramai.
Oh, sorry. I forgot she was there. They both have British-ish accents, okay? They both sound really, really similar.
Dekaya is sassy, Lexa's straightforward. That's how you tell the difference.
I don't know, did you hear Lexa in the last, 30 minutes of this episode?
She was angry. She's upset.
Anyway. Yeah, so that is kind of what's been going on. So now there's two ships.
Ruin our entire plan.
Well, it certainly makes infiltration a bit more tricky.
Yeah, I'm not sure I was sold on that anyway.
Well, I wasn't sold on any of this anyway, so...
Yeah, so, I think you'll just have to,
It doesn't really matter to us, we're gonna just sit here on the ship all day. Doing nothing.
Taylor likes a bad thing.
Did you want to do something?
No, we're perfectly fine to sit on the ship, right?
I would be perfectly fine if you sat on the ship and did nothing. But I kind of want to do things.
What is going on with you two?
Anyway, yeah, so I guess we'll figure out things when we get closer to the tower. So just go to the spaceport, find transportation, rent some speeders or something. Just meet us somewhere. Well, not meet us, but meet them somewhere near-ish the tower, I guess. I don't know. Because we're very not clear on what you guys are actually doing when you specifically land. So I think that's what the plan was, but again, we're sitting here on the ship, so I know where I'm going to be when we land.
Unfortunately.
I have no desire to set foot back on this planet.
Well, it's not really like I want to either. It's incredibly boring. Staying put. I'd rather be killing something, and we're not doing any of that. They're getting to do all the fun things. If this was not on Korriban, if this was anywhere else, I'd have no problem with leaving the ship. Just you leaving the ship, but I would have no problem.
Well, there are plenty of better things to do than kill things for fun.
Charlie, you're past this. You never understand.
Ramai hangs up.
That was the correct move.
All
You really
right,
don't
anything
communicate
else?
very well.
Did that seem strange to you there, Shiloh? What? Even...
stranger than normal. You can't really expect Sith to follow the ways of the Tia or the Jedi.
Yeah, but the two of them fighting each other like that. What? I don't-
That's the nature of the dark side.
They're dark side users, so they're
The
evil.
Sith, that's why will prevail.
Are we on a ship or what's
Yeah, yes, we're in hyperspace still.
What's going on? I didn't know.
I have this image of Theodore walking out of the closet, going, kind of shaking his head, going, "Where am I? What's going on?"
So
Wait,
ship
what?
is Lexa on?
Lexa is on the other ship, not your ship.
So the Kyra's on our ship?
No.
No, I am on the same. Both my characters are on the same ship, away from you. Because you're on the same ship as the Whisperer. Therefore, I'm not on that
It's a
ship.
better trade.
Charat thinks so.
I mean, I'm not gonna get killed because the Whisperer's gonna crash my ship, but you know, whatever.
Okay, so Theodore is going to walk into the room with everyone. Okay. So, we're renaming the ship, right? We should all get together and come to a consensus on what we are going to rename the ship.
Who said we're renaming the ship? I thought the name of the ship was embedded into the ship's credentials. I don't think we can rename it, can we?
I do not know, but the pilot...
Oh,
seemed to
oh
have
right, yes, you
they're
can't
renaming the ship.
rename ships ever. Yes, all ships always have the same name, always, and once they...
Oh, okay, I know. We get the point.
You can... But it's too late because I already renamed it, so, yeah.
What? You
It is
Welcome to the-
unacceptable. We must come to a consensus before we rename the ship.
Do you know how to rename a ship? No? Okay, so I renamed
Okay,
the
well,
ship.
what did you rename it to?
Right, so I called it the Red Death. A little zing to it.
How about no?
Got a little colorful, you know, a little fun.
I am not necessarily opposed to this name, but first we must decide on whether or not we all agree.
Oh, it's already done. I don't know what to tell you, darling.
Is there anyone else who can pilot this ship?
Can you?
Unless you can.
I am not trained in piloting procedures.
Right, so it's
Terrible idea.
clearly a better name than the last name, okay? I just was having a bit of fun for when Lexa sees it.
I'd be more afraid of when Aelond sees it.
What you want is though we named the Void's Gullet? It's the worst name ever. Stupid Trandoshan bounty
But you really
hunter.
should have consulted all of us on this. This is unacceptable. We cannot. If this sort of thing continues, then everything will be chaos. We will not be able to continue like this.
We're naming the ship.
We should
This is
rename the
not
ship
like-
the Horizon of Hope. Or Hope's Horizon, let's rename
You know
it.
what?
That's strange
If
for
it
this type of
requires
ship.
consensus, then like you're gonna need to talk to everybody else about it, not just the people on board this ship, right, Theodore? So it's gonna take a while, and I think we have more pressing matters to attend to than the name of the ship.
Well, then we should change it back.
Yep.
She just looks at you.
That's 100% not happening.
Considering we are the ones assigned to this ship, though, I think it is appropriate that we name it. Until such a time as we can convene full council of everyone involved.
Right, so Red Death, going to Korriban, we're gonna kill some people. I thought it like, you know, Lexa goes by the Scarlet Hunter sometimes.
Everyone, thoughts on the name Red Death? What are your thoughts?
How about no on that one?
Death in the name.
You really,
I'm feeling much better about my decision to put Whisperer on.
you know, you really want to let the naming of the ship up to these two people who clearly don't know what sounds cool.
We just need it to sound realistic, believable, something someone would name a ship, which could be anything, realistically speaking.
Well, and I'm thinking we're going to Korriban. We're like using fake IDs of some less than reputable folks. I would figure our ship should have, maintain the character of feeling a little menacing. If you name it the heroic whatever
This is true.
nonsensical
You have convinced me.
gobbledygook that you wanted to name it, Fishman.
What are our fake IDs then?
We can always change the name of the ship at another point.
Exactly.
I think she makes a good point.
Temporary
that
name
sounds like something.
So
that
what
the Sith
what are
would
the what are our aliases here
That's
to
another good point.
try to match things?
Yeah, you're like a team of like mercenary bounty hunter type people.
Do we all have to come up with alias names?
If you want to, it is not required. Because I can just be like, you may get through customs unless you do something really stupid. If you want to get stupid with it, we can get stupid with it.
Out of character, Mr. T is just the current alias of my character.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we got the impression.
Anyways, let's get to Korriban.
So have you come to it? What do you think about the name Red Death? Do you think it is suitable? As he looks at Shaddaa and
Go under the alias Red Death. That's not what we should
How about
it should be called.
what
the
do you
ship
guys
will,
think
in
of
fact,
the
be named
Crimson
Red
Cloak?
Death while we are going under the alias of it, if we choose.
Yep, I vote for Red Death.
Wonderful.
Did you guys hear me at all?
No.
I heard something, but that we were engaged in a conversation and ignored.
Yeah, the Whisperer is just looking very, very happy right now. She's just like sitting back in her chair, like listening to like the points, like nodding when everybody's talking.
Yes, I am quite good at coming up with names.
So, yes, Kalani, what did you want to call the ship?
Too many Crimson names in our group already.
Crimson.
Why do you think that is better than the Red Death for infiltrating a Sith planet? Theodore waves his hand in front of your face as close to your eyes as possible.
What do you do?
He has to explain why he
Are you
thinks it's a
there?
better name for infiltrating things than the Red Death.
I just like to imagine
I'm
while
not sure how to articulate it.
What merits does it have in infiltration? How will it help us go under the radar? It seems to me maybe to imply stealthiness, which may not be what would work.
It's a lot of weight. But decision.
It's very important. The ship renaming is vitally important.
Finally to the mission. Make or break our win.
Alright, so Dame is just gonna just turn back to the controls because nothing interesting is happening anymore.
It's like, all right, when you guys figure it out, just let me know.
So, what are your opinions on what I just said about the merits of that name versus the merits of the Red Death?
Cannot understand squeaky.
Just like to imagine Dekai and Ramai having a similar conversation and then being like, nah, we don't need to rename the ship, it's fine.
So, what are your opinions on the merits of the Crimson Cloak versus the Red Death? And the efficiency of staying under the radar on this mission?
Are you talking to Kalani or to
Kalani.
Whisperer? Okay, just making sure.
Kalani? Who else?
Squeaky, what?
You not hear what he's saying? I can hear everything he's saying.
I seem to be having trouble with.
He asked what you think the merits are of those two names. The
wants
Crimson
to make
Cloak
a pro
versus the
and
Red
cons
Death.
list.
What are the merits?
He's looking for it.
Time to get out the whiteboards, everybody. Pros, cons.
I am getting tired of this argument.
That's why Shiloh already voted for Red Death.
What argument? We're coming to a consensus on this. Of course, spirited debate is very useful for coming to good conclusions. Why are you so quiet? Speak so slow. How do you make decisions?
Kalani is just clutching at her head, like nursing a headache.
So, that's an abstention from voting, right? So, consensus?
Yes, I think she may be incapacitated at the moment.
Alright, great. So, if she decides to vote later, we can change it. But for right now, it stands 3-0.
I will take her to the medbay. Come with me, Kalani.
My head.
Alright, so back.
He grabs one of your hands and then and puts his arm around your back and just leads you out to the medbay.
I give up.
It's a ferret leading a cat to the medbay.
This is great. The two furry friends. The furry friends are going to the medbay. Alright,
Fish
so...
is just back here like, why is this my life? I need some help as to why this is my life.
Right, so back on the other ship, Ajax gonna talk to Lexa.
Gerard, why aren't you here?
You all thought we were gonna get Korriban, but there's conversations that need to happen before we get there. Ha! Pull the fast one on everybody.
Very important conversation.
Oh yes. Well, that one not so much. This one's an important conversation.
How dare you?
Lexa's not in her closet. She put R1S in the closet and left him there. She's now kind of at like a lounge sort of area where she can see a window with a view of space as they're traveling through it. She's just like kind of messing with her data pad.
Lexa?
Hey, Jack.
So the reason that Radek asked me in the Whisperer along, well, aside from
We're having this conversation.
oh, of course, what better time to have it than when the Whisperer's not around? Anyway, Right, so I'm here to help you do whatever you want. The Whisperer is here because she might be useful. Might not be, but things happen on Korriban if you choose to make them happen. I'm not sure that's a good idea, but Radic seems to leave the options up to you.
Whatever I want, huh? Why do you work for him? You seem like a person who didn't really care for anything beyond the Order of the Mandalorians. You didn't strike me as one of the mercenaries that I've met.
Right, so let's see. So after, well, it's been a little bit interesting since, since I died and got brought back.
Did you die?
Yeah, so there was a amulet thing in the vault that we were in, and I mean, Doug kind of told me what it was. Kind of, well, I don't think either of us knew exactly what it was gonna do. Well, it would bring me back, but the Sith who made it, gathering from what I know now, kind of, I guess, created it to give life energy back to someone who was wearing it, by taking the life energy out of hundreds of people and putting it into this thing. But now I have these fragments of other people's lives in my head a little bit. And it's been a little bit different. So, well, Dell and I were helping Gerard and Ariel track down their brother. Dell was going to try and help me track down what caused the Mandalorian War, but then I don't know, he had some vision about something and he left, and I kind of was searching for things. I don't know. And Radic, I guess, was looking around at everybody connected to the group and kind of reached out to me. He actually was helpful. Because he's lived for so long dealing with a bunch of stuff. It's kind of... Anyway, so it's better. But it's just still... I still feel like I get flashes of things that aren't me anymore. So I used to... Well, and I found out that Radic is looking to go into the unknown regions, look for where Revan went. And I think where Revan went is potentially where the Mandalorians were involved, so I saw a connection there, so I'm interested in the same thing Radic is. So I'm helping him out, so I went to go fetch the Whisperer from Coruscant to make sure she came along. And so, not really a mercenary, we're just working for the same reasons.
Why is she here?
Why is she here? Well, she's here because, well, not exactly sure why she's here. I think that's between you and Radic a little bit. But, yeah, there's some unfinished business between you two. I think Radic wanted you to have an opportunity before we all head out to wherever we're going. If we find what we're looking for, that you can have some sort of resolution, whatever it looks like.
He's not using you, is he? Not taking advantage of you.
And he's been helpful. So, doing this is a favor, but also we need to go into the tower to get the information we're looking for. Finally found somebody who actually knew where we were looking. Dal said he would help me find it. He got busy. Radic actually knew where to look.
So you... have these fragmented memories of people. You didn't know that that was what the amulet was going to do.
No. I just knew it was going to bring me back, and it was, well, evil, but... So I figured there'd be something. It's been a lot harder to deal with, because most of them are, like, last moments type of memories. So it's been... more than a little bit to deal with.
I'm sorry.
Well, did what needed to be done. Successfully did what we needed to do. Small price to pay for saving the galaxy.
It doesn't change the fact that it's happened to you.
Yeah, well, don't really spend my time feeling sorry for myself. I was 13, had a neurological disorder, basically. Couldn't fight, couldn't do anything. Finally found a cure for it on Terrace when I was older. But then the Mandalorian War was pretty much over. Everyone I knew was dead. So, after that, you pretty much go through anything. Just grit your teeth and make it whatever it's going to be. So, well, it's been tough. You still have to try to focus on the goal of what you're trying to do. Anyway, so what? Well, I have purpose. Riddick helped me figure out where to go to find it. So what's your deal with the Whisperer, anyway?
It's not really a deal. I'm a bounty hunter, or was when I was on Coruscant. I've tracked and arrested many people who have done many things. The Whisperer, in particular, was a difficult person to apprehend. It was a back and forth, and it didn't get personal until I captured her once, and she managed to release other prisoners that I'd made sure were sentenced. She released them and they came after me. Almost killed me once. After that, it became a bit more personal. I found out her real name and used it to capture her. She apparently slipped away again. It has become a rivalry where I intended it to be as another job. You remember when we met, I was searching for someone then too. That's what I do, is I look for people. I look for people who are hurting others, and I make sure that they don't hurt them anymore. I try to avoid killing them, as I feel that it's something my father would prefer. But meeting this group has made that a bit more impossible than it normally was. We didn't know each other very long, but I was saddened to see you die. I've known a couple of Mandalorians in my time. I'm sure you wouldn't think very much of them being bounty hunters, but I did respect their code of honor. It was something that I had in common with them. So on the occasion I got to work with a few, it was pleasurable.
Oh, yeah, you're right about me not respecting them.
From what I gathered of their culture, they were a bit more lore-filled than they used to be.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you start conscripting people into the army. You basically end up with an army of mercenaries. Anyway, that's just whatever. So if you ever want, So Whisperer's in your court, basically. And if you need my help to do anything, let me know. But it's not really my problem. I'm not here to give you advice. I'm here to make sure whatever your plan is works. Well, and we're here to find out the information we're looking for. So I would prefer to succeed in that, but this might be the last chance you ever get at the Whisperer.
That's true. The only thing I haven't quite decided is whether it's worth capturing her again or just ending it permanently.
Well, maybe you should talk to her.
Talk to her. I'm sure she would beg for her life. She's hurt and killed many people. Done many terrible things, and she's going to continue doing those things. I'm not even really comfortable putting her on the ship with my friends, but I didn't see much of a choice.
Well, yep, anyway, so, yeah, if you need it, let me know what's going on. Try and get some sleep before this whole thing goes totally sideways. That's how it always works.
I don't sleep.
Well, that's unfortunate for you, because that means you have to be awake for the whole trip.
Yes, it's very unfortunate. This isn't the first time I've had to endure it.
Well, we'll be there soon. Anyway.
Thank you. You didn't have to tell me all that you did.
Yeah, well, me, you, Radek, and whoever else going out into deep space, I figured we should know.
You're coming with us.
You're not paying attention? Yeah, then, yes. Yes, I'm coming.
I just... Perhaps you were helping Radek and then we would leave and you'd place your hope in us. I didn't really...
No, I've got nothing else here. Well, I've got a couple relatives back on Mandalore, but mission comes first. I understand that. The whole family's been shunned anyway, so if I can figure out, prove something, get them unshunned. Be better for them, they understand.
But you're leaving them behind.
Yeah. I mean, I've been away. I mean, that's what Mandalorians do. We follow what we need to do. We don't care. Like, we put our family first, but we don't all have to be together to do the mission together.
Seems like a waste of time for short-lived beings.
Well, we're lived on in our descendants. We remember our ancestors. Whole thing's woven into a giant story. Gotta make sure your descendants are better off where you were. And that starts with fixing my clan's name. That starts with figuring out why this war started. It's a whole convoluted mess. Maybe not happen ever, but something to do, something worth doing. Family's everything.
Yes it is.
All right. And the ships emerge from hyperspace. Not exactly at the same time, because they're not the same speed of ship, but you all go. You land on the planet at different spaceports. So we can either fast track, or we can, you can go through all the things.
Yeah, I vote for fast tracking.
Fast tracking? You've done this before, you're level 19, you're pretty much going to be able to bluff your way through the regular security people, seeing as you successfully did it when you were level 5.
Yeah.
This is not... You have... were you raising your hand, or was that just like a...
Huh?
It looked like you were raising your hand, but I think you were just gesturing with your hand or something. Never mind. Okay, so how do you guys want to get to the Obsidian Tower?
Well, I feel like we need to have a whole new strategy, because showing up in the Sith ship and pretending to infiltrate isn't going to work if we don't have a Sith ship, so I feel like we need to redo the whole plan.
Okay, so we've met up and stuff, right, at this point?
Well, you landed in different cities, so no.
I was asking if we fast forwarded or something.
Well, I want to know where you're meeting, and I want to so where do you meet, and what vehicles do you procure to get there?
So probably then what I would propose is that we would do a little bit of research through the holonet about what is around the tower and find some place that is probably would be the least conspicuous. We can hang out and meet. And then probably take a couple of speeders there at different times. Just spread everyone out a little.
Right, so you're doing research, and Messiah also knows kind of what's around there. The answer is not much. There's desert, rocks, some like landscape. It is somewhat nearby a lot of Sith tomb places because it is an ancient Sith temple sort of place. So it's not in a heavily trafficked city place. It's kind of off in the middle. So the tower itself is like there are miles of rocks and landscape around it, but there's nothing. There's no towns or anything that are nearby.
There's like nothing nearby? Like not really. It's like it's just kind of a tower out in the middle by itself.
Well, there's some ruins and some other destroyed. Like there's like it used to be part of a larger like temple sort of like conglomeration.
What's the closest settlement?
Are there some abandoned ruins that no one's around?
Yeah, there's some
weren't we
abandoned.
discussing the possibility of intercepting a supply shipment?
Well, we can do that later. We just need a place to meet.
Yeah, so there's like some abandoned Sith temple places that are like it's really old, and all the other buildings that were near it are really old, but like it's the only one that's still mostly standing. And so there's nothing like direct. There's like at least like a half mile between it and everything else. But then there are like scattered ruins around the place.
We go to that and see what we can do to make it somewhat secure and hidden.
Yeah. The ruins sound like the best option.
Is there a consensus that we're going to the ruins before Theodore gets all upset?
So Messiah made it sound like it's impossible for us to sneak into the thing, right?
She made it seem like it was pretty difficult.
So after we go to the ruins, what are we planning on doing?
Recon. Just going there, set up a base, and then see what we can see. See if there's what. Then we come up with our strategy for entering.
And then
Basically, the intention is to meet up so we can discuss things.
Yeah.
Like, is there not, like, what's the closest settlement to the tower? Can't we just, like, get a hotel there and all file in?
I just don't really want to do that because we can't really see what's going on.
So the nearest settlement would be probably like an hour by speeder bike.
Yeah, that's not really an option. I think this ruin plan will work. It's out of the way. We can set up a small base there. Keep an eye open. I mean, that's really what Takaya and Ramai kind of for. Have them, if we can con them out of getting off the ship, we could have them watch over the base.
Oh, well, if you do that, we gotta roleplay that. I'm not letting you not roleplay that.
So I have a question. Did the Eraser give me like an operations budget?
Radic gave you an operations budget. It is very large. Like 200,000 probably.
Yes, but I don't have access to that account.
I have control of said budget.
No, well, there's... Yeah, so...
I think the Eraser would give me like some small amount of operating cash.
Yeah, you probably have some money, but Radic was the main financier of this operation. So you probably got like 15,000 spare change. Spare change.
Yeah, spare change.
15,000 is a lot for spare change.
Just a little.
Well, compared to Radic's massive fortunes. Right, so are you trying to convince Takaya and Ramai to come off the ship now?
I don't know. I just suggested that. I don't know what anyone else thinks about that plan. We don't have to bring them. We could always... I think we don't really have to bring them. I mean, that's also what B-Team is for. The B-Team can hang out on the base and wait.
Well, if we're just scouting the ruins, or scouting the thing from the ruins, we don't have to necessarily take everyone, just to scout, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the scouting. I'm talking about after, because we don't want them to find out. We need a place to come back to if something goes wrong. But yeah, for scouting, no. Well, for scouting, we would probably, I don't know who the stealthiest people are. We don't have a lot of stealth.
We don't have a lot of stealth with this particular team.
Oh,
Aelond.
your
Stealthiest person is probably
Ajax.
my character.
Yeah, you just have a high
Ajax.
dex.
I have a
Ajax is not stealthy.
I have a 20.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Gerard is not stealthy
Yeah,
either.
I have a focus in stealth.
Okay, so well then we're definitely sending Mr. T.
Yep.
Yeah,
Also,
let's-
like, even a small contingent of non-force users, I could just kill them all. They wouldn't. No one would.
I would prefer if
Yeah.
we sent Mr. T and maybe one other person.
Does anyone
my
else
stealth
have
is
infiltration
13.
training?
I'm not trained in it, but I have 13 in stealth.
I have 11.
That's more than me. I have a 9.
Ajax.
Half.
If we're like planning
Where do
but
I
not
have?
planning, and they were trying to decide who's gonna go Ajax, it'd be like, well, if it's like Sith temple things, I feel like Kalani's the best one to find out if there's anything evil there.
I have a 12 in stealth.
Oh, she seems to have the highest.
I am
level.
unaware of how force stuff works, so
Then I think the best plan would be to send. Donnie and Theodore. The rest of us can stay in the ruins, prepare, keep an eye on things from our position, watch out for patrols, patterns, that sort of thing. The two of them can go and gather information and return here. Then, once that is figured out, we can make plans.
I will be moving ahead of you, Kalani. You will follow a minute or so behind. That way, you will not blow my cover.
I do apologize. My particular skill set is more brute force and destruction. That's
You are good at that, though.
Alright, so you guys
Very
taking like
good.
speeder bikes, and is everybody kind of going? But like, are you like staying back at the ships while they go do this?
No, I think we're all gonna go to the ruins and set up the base together, and then we'll send them. Once we've got a base going, then we send the two of them off on their own.
So, like, what equipment are you gonna use to set up a base?
Well, I'm gonna ask Theodore for those data spikes, and then I don't know.
That's actually Theodore's response when you ask him.
Theodore, you can't use them.
Have you been trained in their use?
Yes.
I have not been given authorization to give these to anyone else.
Really good at lying.
All right, give me a
I have not been given
perception
authorization
check
to give
then.
them to you.
All right, we're rolling deception check and perception check because you're. I'm gonna give Theodore some advantage on this because he knows how they work because the eraser told him how they work and he's used them before.
Yeah, but I'm
this
very
is
skilled in this stuff. I could figure
also
that out.
like anything the eraser gives him, like he typically needs the eraser to tell him that someone else is allowed to even touch them because it's the eraser stuff and
it's just not.
Eraser is high security.
Yeah, I'm not feeling the belief of the you don't know how to use it line of it's not gonna.
He's done this before. It's like
it's not gonna
but
fly.
You're not coming in with us. Having
what?
them, you're not in. Have you not been listening to the plan? There's an 18.
He wasn't there when he talked about that. He wasn't there.
No. You misunderstand how this is going to go. I will be entering in there. Those are my orders. I will be going into the tower.
Where did consensus go? Consensus was there was an A team and a team, and you got put on a B team. That was how consensus worked.
You did not involve me in this consensus. There is no consensus. Consensus must be arrived at when we are all together.
You are the only. You are the only person who disagrees.
I have been given orders. Orders take priority over consensus.
Your
rank does not allow you to question these orders.
What?
Let me put it to you this way. I'm the leader of this group, essentially. Everyone around here is going to follow what I say because, well, that's just the way that it has been for a little while. I don't know you, and I don't know your skill level. I'm sure you're very good at what you do, but I don't trust you to go into the heart of the Sith with people that I care about. Now, I think you will do just fine in B team or in the back with the rest of them. If you'd like to continue this conversation, we can at a later point, but I think for now...
I am sorry, but the Eraser was very clear on this. My orders are non-negotiable.
Okay, good night, everybody. It's 11. I have to head out.
All right, Kyrath.
Have fun making the plan.
Goodbye.
Oh, save me. Save me, please.
Nope. You have to stay.
Do you know anything
If necessary, I will separate from the group and pursue this on my own.
You will die. You will die. Do you not know what Sith are? Do you not know what we're going into? We have to be very careful about everything we do. Every one of us has to know exactly what we're doing and our place in it. You going gung-ho on one man's order? Not going to work with this plan.
Then I suggest you open up a slot on 18.
Are you intending to lead us through? Are you intending to lead us? Is this now your mission and yours alone? Because I'm getting the feeling that unless you can follow your orders, you are inflexible about the rest of our concerns.
I have been assigned to extract information and aid you in the infiltration of the tower.
You are not aiding me. You are not aiding me at this point. At this point, you are now a hindrance, because you are refusing to even maneuver into a better position. I am the clearly most skilled hacker we have in this group.
The terms of my aid and my being lent to you by the Eraser were that I go into the tower. This is how it was told to me. Now, because you planned without me there and did not include me in this consensus, obviously...
You never asked.
There was never a chance to ask.
Is it possible for me to contact the Eraser?
I mean, sure.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling I'm gonna need to go over his head. I won't say that yet, but I'm just like in the back of my head. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a problem.
All right, so we're stopping. So this conversation. Okay, great. Okay, so scouting party is going. So it's great. So you guys all kind of. So you're taking speeder bikes, speeders. What? And also, are you grabbing like tents? Like, what are you supplying with? We can figure out camp stuff later. Because we're fine. Okay. All right. So Theodore and Kalani, you guys are going. You guys are taking the hobbits to Isengard. He does. Eagle, you there?
Yeah.
So as we go over to the speeders to head out and scout, Theodore will say, so the plan that I propose is that we approach to within a reasonable distance and then go on foot quietly and under cover of stealth field generator.
That probably sounds like that's the way to be stealthy.
Good, you'll follow me. Try to keep your speed low. We do not want to kick up too much dust.
Great.
I make sure
Agreed.
that
I make sure that what?
I'm the last person who gets on the speeder. I hang out in the back and wait for everyone else to leave, and then before I find a speeder of my own to make it to the ruin, I contact the eraser. Like, hold up, wait, I was unclear about some of those conditions here.
Is this okay? Wait, hang on a second. Okay, better encryption. Good. Okay. Yeah. What is it?
I was unaware that your toady here is completely immovable to moving with a group. I asked him a seemingly benign question or some try of planning, and he seemed to be dogmatically in favor of your orders. And I think you can appreciate that will not work under a circumstance like this.
Did you actually explain what the plan was, or try and?
I didn't get a
anything?
chance to. I simply made a suggestion, and he immediately told me that no suggestion that it disobeyed your orders in any way would be advisable.
Well, the orders were just for him to go get the information, and whatever like that. The details were left up to the group. So
I think you need to change. I think you need to change those orders that he either follows my lead or follows what we tell him, because he's not going to give up those data spikes. And I think you and I can both agree that I would be better suited using any hacking devices within this way. And I really don't want to argue with him when I need him to do as I say when I need it.
No, Theodore's never failed me before. He's not going to start now. He has been excellent. I trust him with my life. Obviously, you've seen that. He will get me the information that we need, and he's very quick on his feet. He's faster than you, so if he can escape, he's much more likely to be able to escape than you are. He is better in hand-to-hand combat, I believe, than I've witnessed in your feats. So, I mean, you might know more how to speak to people more, but I think if we're going in an infiltration stealth route, which I think makes the most sense logically from my perspective, I think that he is actually more equipped to escape alive than you. And that's not saying that I don't think you're going to survive. I think hopefully everyone survives. Both likelihood, I've been doing some math, but I don't have all the details, so I can't figure that out. But no, Theodore. I mean, so there's.
Why don't you start by telling me exactly, explicitly what it is he's been ordered to do? Because I was unaware that there were secondary orders. From my perspective, Radek and everyone else has put their trust in me, and now I'm feeling like there's a little bit of a second undertone here I was unaware of.
Well, Theodore's getting the information.
I'm getting the information. I'm getting the information. That is my job.
It's everyone's job.
Everyone's job is to help me facilitate that. But if anyone has the best shot of getting what we need, it is going to be me. Aelond is
can't help it if I disagree with you with that, but that is yours.
No, you can't, but you're not here.
I'm not, but Theodore is, and I do trust Theodore.
If the situation changes, he will not do as I tell him. And I can't contact you in the middle of a situation and be like, hey, change your orders, situation has changed. You see what I'm saying? It's a little bit...
He understands...
I don't think he does.
Yes, he does. When he has time to debate things, he debates things because he likes to make sure everybody's on the same page. That is the way their colonies function properly. So everybody's on the same page. So he likes to be on the same page as everybody. And so... oh
my gosh, if you don't spend any time with us, that's not going to work. None of us are on the same page on most days.
So why is him not being on the same page as everybody else a problem, but then everybody else not being on the same page? Fine.
I know everybody else. I know what they'll do, and they'll listen to me. He won't.
I feel like he just... so what exactly was your suggestion that made him get upset?
I think he should at least give me some of the data spikes. Not all, but some of them, because they'll be useful for other things.
Well, maybe it did not be. I mean, it may not be. There are copies because like contingencies and stuff, but like he's going in. I mean, sure, there's several. Anyway,
I don't think that's a good idea. He'll be detected by a Sith very quickly.
I'm looking at your skill set versus his skill set, and I'm not seeing how you're more equipped to escape than he is.
quite frankly.
I can lie, he can't.
But he doesn't need to say anything if you're doing the lying. It's a team effort. You just need to explain. If everybody agrees what the plan is and he knows what the plan is, it's fine. As long as he knows what the plan is.
Everyone does
Can't go-
agree with the plan. He's the only one disagreeing. He was put on one
Does
side.
he actually know what the plan? Does he actually know what the plan is?
I didn't get to that part before I.
So what actually is the plan? Can you explain what the plan is to me?
The plan is for Gerard, myself, and Ajak, Messiah. We're going to infiltrate the inside of the building while Kalani, Shailu, and Theodore with the Whisperer wait on the outside. My plan is to keep them out so that they can keep an eye on things, which I think he would be much better as a distraction because he can more quickly run in and solve problems. But if he's on the inside, my fear is that he'll take priority of the mission and abandon the four of us. It's less likely to happen when he's outside of the problem. Here's what my real issue is. If I take him in and he decides that working for you and following your orders is going to mean abandoning the rest of us and more beneficial to you, he will without a second thought, and we'll be left with holding the bag.
He has orders
I don't
not
trust
to just to aid you in infiltration and get the information. Because I realize you have other goals inside there, so he's supposed to help you with those as well. He's a part of the group. He's not just working for me. His orders are to
Well, that's not the
assist group
impression
in bring
I'm
the
getting
information.
from him. That is not the impression I am getting.
You know, I think you guys just need to have a conversation. I'll make sure he gives copies to other people in case I wasn't clear on that. But I don't think I can solve this from over here.
Well, that's your decision. I usually just err on the side of making sure everyone gets out alive, but, if he leaves us and abandons us, well, I guess that's on your conscience. And I hang up. And then I take a speeder and I follow the rest.
Oh, that was fun. Okie dokie. So Kalani and so Kalani and Theodore, so you guys are like going through the desert, and it's a rocky desert, So there's like cliffs and rough edges. Neither of you are probably thinking this, but like there could have potentially been water carving off these rocks at some point at the very distant past, like Grand Canyon-esque thing. So you're going through, and you start seeing like some little hints of structures kind of buried in the sand and in the rock, kind of crumbled pieces here, like a little bit of like an obelisk sort of thing, like crumbled, mostly like worn away by wind. You can't really, going at the speed there, you can't make out any writing on any of the things. As you start getting closer, those things start to get more frequent and in larger chunks, more intact as you approach the temple of your choice.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be, besides just keeping an eye out for whatever, I'm gonna be trying to mask my force presence and detect, if I possible, detect dark force presences around.
Roll perception checks and force perception and all the fun things.
Okay, so that's 24%. And pretty good use of force. Let's see. 15 plus 22.
Oh, sorry, what was that? What was the numbers?
That's 37 force. You use the force for whichever. Do I have to do separate or?
No, that's fine. So, you get like little hints of, like, it just starts feeling more ominous. Like you get like that creeping sensation of something not quite being. Well, I mean, it's been there since you've gotten near the planet, but it's as you kind of move towards these ruins. It doesn't get like intensely strong like the shadow was like intensely evil. As you start getting closer, it just kind of feels. It's not like an intense, malevolent sort of dark side. It's more like a desolate sort of destruction sort of feeling. It's not like this active animus. It's more like this just sense of this overwhelming just desolation and corruption, but it's in such a destroyed state, so it's kind of, it doesn't feel hostile, it just feels very unsettling. Like you're somewhere that died a long time ago, and nothing really has been here since. And and as you guys start walking a little bit closer, you do feel in the force, almost right as you hear like this howling off in the distance, and it sounds very familiar. Back the first time you were on Korriban, you were attacked by these like Sith hounds. So you hear you feel them off in the, so they're off in the distance somewhere. You can hear their echoes, their calls like echoing off of the walls of the rock faces as you're walking closer. You can't really tell where they are by sound, but you can kind of feel them in the force a little bit. When you reach out and kind of touch them, it kind of feels like they kind of feel you, and they kind of, as you get close to your destination, it kind of feels like they're following you, but keeping a very wide berth, like a mile or so. All right, so you approach this.
Sure, right. Not sure I like that.
So you approach this place that you're gonna make your home, potentially. So it's kind of like a collapsed Parthenon-like structure.
Should it be clear, were we scouting the ruins or
no? This was kind of like you're scouting the ruins.
Okay.
So as you approach the ruins, how do you want to do it? But also, so like in the distance, you can kind of see this place you've picked out from the, like, it's from a distance you can just see some pillars and like a little bit
time
of
day is
still
it?
intact a little bit. It's like approaching about 5 p.m. So the sun is going down, but it's kind of casting these long shadows across the desert. But you've got a couple of hours at least before the sun sets, and it took you a while to get here from the rest of the group. But you probably have at least a half hour to take a look around before the sun sets completely.
Perfect.
Well, before you could get all the way back before the sun sets completely if you spent like a half hour checking it out, or you could have the rest of the group get there before nightfall.
So Theodore wants to have both of us set down so that the sun, so that if you were going towards us from the ruins, if you were looking towards us from the ruins, the sun would glare in your eyes since it's the evening.
Okay. So you're approaching from the west, then?
Yes. I don't know where things set on this planet. You got to tell me that. But
I don't know which way.
yeah,
I
like
don't know which.
10 minutes. Like 10 minutes walk away, and ideally behind rocks and stuff to leave our transportation.
Alright, so yeah, so you just want to like walk in, do perception checks and evil force checks.
Yep, stealth in.
Alright, give me stealth checks.
Okay, with the advantage from the stealth field generators.
If you're using it, yep.
I got 33 because I only rolled a 9. Yes.
Oh, that's much better. That's much better. Yeah.
Eagle
So
feeds
what's your...
from the
Oh wait,
existence
that's a
of
nat
the
20.
Yep, so what did you get?
I got 33 total. Because I rolled a 9.
Alright, so yeah, so you guys are pretty stealthy and also invisible. So you approach, and as you get closer, you kind of see like what kind of looks like there's like it's kind of split into a couple pieces. There's like what looked kind of like a double-walled sort of thing, but most of the outer wall is pretty much crumbled, except for like kind of like around where there's probably like a main gate sort of area, but it kind of opens up into this courtyard place. So as you walk in, there's a couple of pillars that are still mostly standing. Most of the roof of this building has collapsed, and there's all carved out of stone. So this orange desertish rock that pretty much everything is made out of. Yeah, Clyde, that feeling of like unsettlingness is like as you've gotten closer to this place, it's just gotten more, but it just feels like this kind of like hopeless sort of despair feeling. And you can't really make out, like, you can tell that there were markings on this place at some point. But the wind and time has sort of eroded everything away. There's some rocks, like rubble, kind of up on the floor where this roof has collapsed down. There was some sort of altar in the building of some sort, but that's mostly in pieces. You can only really tell because it's kind of like a mound of rubble with this little platform up on there. And so you're looking around. Kalani doesn't really feel like a nice place, but nothing on Korriban really does. And you don't really see anything live. You don't feel anything in the forest that's closer than those hounds. It just feels.
Yeah, Theodore is going to do a very thorough search of the area for any signs of people in any within like a week or two.
A week or two?
Having been in the area.
Yeah, you don't see any signs of anything. So you can search from top to bottom for the whole half hour. Like, you don't even really find signs of animal life. You don't find tracks of any sort. You don't find like droppings or like carcass of anything that has been eaten. There's just dust and rocks and the wind howling through the roads.
This is not a good place, but I don't think anywhere is on this planet. We should go back. Kalani? Theodore was talking to you.
So, you want us to go back? But what about
Yes, get the others.
the others?
Actually, we can just call them. That's risky. Those communications could be intercepted. What do you think? Should we return and bring them back with us, or should we stay here and calm them?
Okay, out of character confusion. Here, if I tried to contact Shilu through the Force, would that be dangerous as well for droid?
Just at doing what? I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure that's a great idea either.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
It's probably a worse idea.
Yeah, probably. It's probably.
Yeah, yeah, probably.
So you're gonna head back.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best.
Alright, so you start heading back as the sun sets behind you, leaving the despair and emptiness of the place a little bit, but it's still with you on this planet. As you go, as the sun sinks lower, the last rays of daylight you can just make out where the rest of the group is staying. And that is where we'll end it tonight.
All right. Make sure everything's on. All right. Thank you for joining us, guys. Thank you for playing with us, and had a good night again. Those of you who tuned into the stream, I hope you guys have a good night, and those of you who joined on YouTube, hope you have a good night, and God bless. Yep. Wrong image.